Rock and roll. We are up to Chav Gimel Amid Beis. We started yesterday learning about whether we are chayish lemisa or not. That is where we're up to. Abaya taught us on Amid Aleph to remind ourselves. Abaya taught us that Rameir, who said that an animal can't be a wall for the sukkah, Abaya said the reason is because the animal might die. So says the Gemara on the top of Chav Gimel and Beis, top line. Does Abaya really hold Rameir chayish lemisa or you do a chayish lemisa? V'atanan, we began this yesterday, and this is Mishnah number 1. He continued eating chuma, assuming that the husband is alive. So we see we are not chayshish for misa. We asked him, we see we are chayshish for misa. That's called a stira. Ve'omar Abaya like Hasha. Harav Meir de chayish lemisa. Harav Yehuda de chayish lemisa. The exact opposite of what we're looking for. Di Tanya. So now we have a brisa that is proving that Rav Meir is not chayish lemisa. Rav Yehuda is yes chayish lemisa, which is the exact opposite of what we're looking for. Because our Abaya said Rav Meir is yes, and Rav Yehuda is no. We just answered Abaya that Rav Meir is no, and Rav Yehuda is yes. Now we have a brisa that proves that point. So who bought wine from the Goyim, Omer, and he says, because he's worried they did not take off Chumas and Meisers, Shnei Lugin Shani Asel Afrish, the two Lugin that I am going to eventually separate, Harehein Chuma, they are Chuma wherever they are. Asara, now he has 98 left, so 10 or in reality 9.8 are Meiser Rishon. Tisha are Meiser Sheni, Umeichal, and he transfers this onto something else to be eaten in Yerushalayim. V'shoyse miyad divrei Rabbi Meir. Rabbi Meir says you're allowed to do this. Rabbi Yehuda is Rishimin Oisrin. So what do we see? Rabbi Meir says you're allowed to do this because we're not worried that the barrel is going to break, similar to not being worried for Misa. Rabbi Yehuda says you cannot do this, seemingly that we are worried for Misa. Answers the Gemara in the Tavuk of Daled Amud Aleph. Ipoch, switch it around. Switch right around. Rav Meir is the one that is yesh chayish lemisa, and Rav Yehuda is loy chayish lemisa. So, and how do we prove that? Titanya, as we learned in a brisa, asal lebeim adayv in the sukkah. Rav Meir says it's possible because he's chayish lemisa, and Rav Yehuda says it is kosher. Okay, so very good. Technically, we just made all the math add up, but now we have a different problem. Kasha de Rav Meir, good, and we're also going to have a kasha of Yehuda. Amr l'cha Rav Meir, misa shchicha, b'kiyas anod lo shchicha. Says Rav Meir, yes, I am concerned the animal will die, thereby invalidating your sukkah. But no, I am not concerned the barrel of wine will break. Why not? Because animals die, barrels don't just break. Why not, says the Gemara? Because Evshir the Maser Leil Shaimer, you could give over the jug to a Shaimer to watch and make sure it doesn't break. Whereas you can't give.
Think about it. You're kind of saying that you think it's more likely that Hashem will.
Correct. An animal at least.
Then
correct.
A person watching, you'll think.
Correct.
Person is like
correct.
More responsible.
Very good. But it's in a similar way that one you can control, which is really what you're saying. Says the Gemara, that's Rav Meir. What about Rav Yehuda? Kash Rav Yehuda. Says the Gemara, time with Rav Yehuda, Lami Shem L'B'kiyas Anoid. Why did Rav Yehuda say you can't do this? Not because Rav Yehuda is really worried that the barrel might break. No. Elamishom the less lay breira. So Rav Yehuda does not hold of breira. Rav Yehuda does not hold that we are allowed to retroactively clarify things. Breira on this story is what allows us to say these two are here and these 10 are here. Drink now, and then whatever's left over will be that. That only works with Breira that I could in tomorrow retroactively clarify that was there today. Rav Yehuda disagrees with the whole concept, period. Says the Gemara, really? Rav Yehuda really isn't worried the barrel's going to break? You see from the conversation in the Sefer of Rav Meir to Rav Yehuda, Chavdal and Aleph, about 12 lines down, first word in line is L'Bikiyas Noid. From the conversation of Rav Meir and Rav Yehuda, it would seem that Rav Yehuda is worried the barrel's going to break. Amru Laila Rav Meir, because Rav Yehuda said to Rav Meir, do you not admit Shema Yibaka Noid that the barrel might break? The Nim says that Shaisa Tevil Mafri, and it comes out the retroactively you drink Tevel. Ve'omar Luhu, and Rav Meir responded, Lich Sheyibaka. I'm not worried. So Mechlal, what does that infer? That Rav Yehuda himself, the Chayish Rav Yehuda L'Bikiyas Anoid, answers the Gemara, classical, Hasam, Rav Yehuda to come related to Rav Meir. Rav Yehuda himself doesn't even hold of this whole story. Rav Yehuda is talking to Rav Meir. Lididi, says Rav Yehuda, Leslie Breira. I don't hold of this whole story. Elulididcho. According to you, Rav Meir, do you not admit that the barrel might break? And Amar Le Rav Meir responds, when it breaks, period. Asks,
I thought I remember learning this, that we were saying that Rabbi Yehuda was also chayish for Kiyasanot, but he just doesn't hold the Breira first.
Slow down. Right. You might be remembering the next Gemara. Let's go over that further. Says the Gemara. So far, Rav Yehuda responded, "Lididi, I don't hold the Breira, but according to you, I'm asking." Asks the Gemara, really? Rav Yehuda is not worried about death / barrels breaking. But we learned in a different Mishnah. Rav Yehuda, if we're not answering your question, you'll ask afterwards. They said, Rav Yehuda said that on Yom Kippur, the Kohen Gadol, we have to make sure he's married. So you know what we would do? We'd give him a second wife in waiting. Shema Tamas Ishtay. Maybe his wife will die. So what do we see? We see Rav Yehuda is yes concerned about people dying. Answers the Gemara, Itamar Allah, we learned on that, Amr Avuna B'Rei Yeshua, Mailu Asab Kapara. We're not really worried anyone's going to die. But for Yom Kippur, the holiest day of the year, we're extra careful. Says the Gemara, okay, so we got through Rav Meir, we got through Rav Yehuda, we got through the three Mishnais, we got through whether we're worried they're going to die or not. But says the Gemara, we got through whether we hold a Breira or not. Bein L'man Damar Shema Thomas, Bein L'man Damar Shema Tivrach, back all the way back in Chav Gimel and Health. What was the reason that Rav Meir said the animal can't be a wall of the sukkah? Abaye said the animal might die. Rav Zira said the animal may run away. Says the Gemara, both of those concerns, midaraisa mechitza ma'alyehi, ubidarabanan udigazruba. Both of those concerns are concerns midirabanan. Midaraisa, there's no problem. Elameata, if that is true, that on the biblical daraisa level, min ha-toira, the animal is yes a good mechitza. L'rameir titami mishum goylel. If the animal on a daraisa level is a good mechitza, is a good partition, so it should be tami mishum goylel. What does it mean tami mishum goylel? That means you have a dead body, you put the tombstone on top of it, the tombstone should become tame. If the animal is the tombstone, if the animal is the goylel, the covering for the grave, says the Gemara, when it has a din of a mechitza, if the covering is called a covering, it's like a regular tombstone. So if you're telling me on the daraisa level an animal is such, it should be tami mishum goylel. So what's the kasha? Alama tanan, alama with a hey. Why do we learn in the Mishnah 8 lines from the white lines? Rav Yehuda mitami mishum goylel and Rav Meir mitayer. What's going on? If this whole din, according to Rav Meir, is a din derabanan, that means again on the deraisa level, it's a good wall. If it's a good wall, it should be a good kever. If it's a good kever, it should be tamei. Says the Gemara, you're right. So this whole last close to a blot, chas v'shalom, we don't rip it out, but we slightly rip it out. Ella Amar Rav Achavar Yaakov a nubshat. Kasavar Rav Meir, you know what Rav Meir holds? Kol mechitza shaimedes beruach einay mitzuyam. Period. Oh, that was abrupt. Let's try that one more time. Elom Rav Achavar Yaakov Kasav Rav Meir. Kol mechitza shaimedes beruach. Yeah, what? I just read the wrong words, right? Yeah. That was that was great. That was wonderful. I was wondering like. I just fell off the cliff, but what happened? Says the Gemara, Shkoyach. I think I did the same thing last time. Shashi will remember because he corrected me last time in a good way. I think I did the exact same thing last time. Ellie, no? Ellie, do you remember? I did, right? Yeah, I think I fell off the same exact cliff last time.
Go with that the Rav's Gemara is just different Gemara.
Yeah, we could pretend, but no, I just fell off the same cliff last time. Chazarah Meir. That's why we have Chazar. Kol mechitza shemed beruach. Kamo. We're gonna write it in. Kol mechitza shemed is beruach. Einoi mechitza. Any mechitza.
Even on the Gemara before.
On everything. Everything. So now a new reason why, according to our Meir, it's 8:11 and we have to have a mincha. Why a new reason? And we don't have a minyan yet. We have one more outside. 2 for 6. We have a 7th man outside. Okay, maybe just put out a message that we need 2 more. Put it out on one of the other chats, whatever it is. Says the Gemara, all you on Zoom, you might have to put on your pants, but that's a different story. Says the Gemara, you know why the animal cannot be a wall of the sukkah? Because any mechitza that's a med is biruach, it requires ruach, it requires air to stand, it's not a mechitza. Ikati Amri, another lashon, 3 lines of the white lines. Amar Rav Achbar Yaakov said, Rameir kol mechitza she'en asuya b'dei adam, ein mechitza. Second pshat is not that it's standing beruach, but it's a mechitza that's not man-made. What's the difference? An animal is either not man-made or an animal is in a beruach with suah. Answers the Gemara, the bouncy house, that is man-made, but it's still standing with air. So according to the first opinion, it's so good. According to the second opinion, it is good. The Adam, hare, we turned over the Chavdal in the base. Asuya bidei Adam. Give Aldi. Is anyone outside there? I daven mincha, but this is shikol imoy anoichi b'tzara. I know. It's like shkias in an hour. I know. All the Haimish Chaver on Zoom getting upset. No? Okay, we're gonna call it a day here. Chavra, let's keep the Chazarah. Let's keep the Chazarah b'siyata d'shmaya.